In this video, I'm going to tell you about the fighting type and why it's worse in Pokemon Red, Blue, and Yellow than any other game. This will be an analysis on the fighting type, its Pokemon, their stats, pros and cons, moves, and how they do in a typical playthrough. Now, one of the fighting types on the list happens to be a trait evolution, so I'll go with its pre-evolution instead. So now that I explain what I'll cover, let's jump right into this analysis. Beginning the analysis, we have to cover the fighting type once more. Fighting had a rough start as the worst type in all of Gen 1, and its offensive and defensive effectiveness alone shows it. Fighting was strong against normal, rock, and ice while not hitting hard against flying, bug, poison, or psychic, and doing nothing to ghost. This type was designed to counter one of the strongest types in Gen 1, but thanks to how the moves and species were made, fighting falls so short it's unreal. Fighting resisted bug and rock while being frightened by flying and psychic. The resistances are a total joke since you hardly see bug or rock moves in-game, but the weaknesses are alarming due to Psychic being the best type in all of Gen 1. Now moving to the list, we have the best fighting type in all of Gen 1, Poliwrath. It's interesting to note that Poliwrath is the only fighting type in Gen 1 with a secondary type, Water. Poliwrath has 90 HP, 85 attack, 95 defense, 70 special, and 70 speed. While those sound great, they don't do many favors. Poliwrath's good traits are that it can learn Blizzard, Earthquake, Ice Beam, Psychic, and Surf, gets access to Amnesia to boost its special, has good bulk, defense, and speed, but that's pretty much it. Poliwrath's bad traits are having mediocre stats, being part fighting type, and being a downgrade of Poliwhirl. The irony is that Poliwrath is the best fighting type while not being a fighting type at all, instead working like a mediocre Amnesia sweeper. It would be better if you tried out different water types over Poliwrath. They won't fold to Psychic quite as much and will be more useful. Up next is the second best fighting type in Gen 1, Primeape. It's also interesting to note that Primeape is the fastest fighting type in the game, meaning it's the most likely fighting type to get a critical hit. Primeape has 65 HP, 105 attack, 60 defense, 60 special, and 95 speed. Might sound great, but the thing holding Primeape back is its typing. Primeape's good traits are that it can learn Dig and Rock Slide, critical hitting with Karate Chop, and making great use of low kick's flinch rate. Primeape's bad traits are being frail, having a weak Thunderbolt, and other ground types being way stronger. What's funny is that Primeape's the second best fighting type of Gen 1, but its only real fighting move is low kick. Karate Chop was a normal move in Gen 1, and it was changed to fighting by Gen 2 to correct it. But as I said before, literally any ground type is better to use than Primeape. The other fighting types aren't very good, and they don't need their own separate analysis. Hitmonlee is similar to Primeape, but with much higher attack, much lower bulk, and slightly lower speed. While Hitmonlee is the strongest fighting type and gets the best fighting moves, it has no coverage options whatsoever. Its only options against Ghost are Seismic Toss and using Mimic to copy one of the foe's moves. Machoke is just like Primeape but with slightly higher bulk and much less speed. But while Machoke can get Earthquake, it's still inferior to Primeape since it's way slower. Last and least, Hitmonchan is similar to Hitmonlee but with slightly lower speed and slightly higher defense. Hitmonchan's coverage options are the worst, being the Elemental Punches. Instead of the Elemental Punches using its good 105 attack, they're using its pathetic 35 special, doing almost nothing. Next we make it to the fighting type moves, and despite there being a handful of fighting moves, half of them are just learned by only Hitmonlee. The fighting moves Hitmonlee can learn are Double Kick, Rolling Kick, Jump Kick, and High Jump Kick. Double Kick is a 30 power, 100 accuracy move with 30 power points. Basically it hits the target with 30 damage twice in a row. Rolling Kick is 60 power, 85 accuracy, and 15 power points, having a good chance to flinch the target. Jump Kick and High Jump Kick are both identical, having a weird effect of causing 1 HP of recoil to the user if it misses, but there's small differences in both of them. Jump Kick has 70 power, 95 accuracy, and 25 power points, while High Jump Kick has 85 power, 90 accuracy, and 20 power points. As for the other fighting moves, Low Kick is identical to Rolling Kick but with 50 power, 90 accuracy, and 20 power points. Seismic Toss is 100 accuracy and 20 power points, but only doing level equivalent damage. Another interesting thing to note is that Seismic Toss can hit ghosts due to a programming flaw. Gen 1 is strange sometimes. Counter has 100 accuracy and 20 power points. But oddly enough, it'll only work if the user was hit by a normal or fighting move, dealing twice the received damage back. Last and least is Submission. It has 80 power, 80 accuracy, and 25 power points, causing 1/4 of the inflicted damage and recoil to the user. Submission might be the easiest fighting move to learn, but it's nowhere near worthwhile to have, let alone use in battle. Finally, we make it to how the fighting types do in a typical playthrough of Pokemon Gen 1, and it's not great. Poliwrath will do best against Brock, Lieutenant Surge with Earthquake, Erica with Ice moves or Psychic, Koga with Earthquake or Psychic, Blaine, Giovanni, Bruno, Agatha with Earthquake or Psychic, Lance with Ice moves, and Blue's Pidgeot, Rhydon, Exeggutor, or Venusaur with Ice moves, Blue's Venusaur with Psychic or Ice moves, Blue's Arcanine with Earthquake and Water moves, and Blue's Rhydon, Arcanine, or Charizard with Water moves. Primeape will do best against Brock with Low Kick, Lieutenant Surge with Dig, Koga with Dig, Sabrina's Venomoth with Rock Slide, Blaine with Dig or Rock Slide, Giovanni's Poison types with Dig, Blue's Arcanine with Dig or Rock Slide, and Blue's Charizard with Rock Slide. Hitmonlee, Machoke, and Hitmonchan don't need an analysis on what they'll do best against. They're not really worthwhile for typical playthroughs. In conclusion, the fighting type in Gen 1 only existed as a punching bag. Literally. Most fighting types didn't stand a chance in a normal playthrough of Pokemon Red, Blue, or Yellow unless they were overleveled or just had crazy strategies aided by other Pokemon in the team. But no worries. Fighting type gets heavily buffed moving into Gen 2, and I'll soon talk about what buffs the fighting type gets as a whole. Hey look, that's all I got for now. If you enjoyed my analysis on the fighting types in Gen 1, please give a like or comment telling me what you enjoyed the most about the video. Until next time, have a good day.